the role. Irvin Turner. Who else? Who else? Who
Earl
else?
Harris.
Earl Harris. Um, yes. God. Oh my.
Ralph Grant.
Ralph Grant, and Ralph is still with us.
Yes, he is.
Ralph was
Just had a birthday.
just had a birthday.
I thought that he wasn't,
No, Ralph, as a
but
matter of
he's
fact,
still around.
because my wife teaches at Pillar here in Newark, Pillar College. Ralph just retired,
94?
95 years old. Well, let's talk about Ike Thomas.
Ooh,
Ike Thomas,
96.
96 years old, former president of the Society of Christian Men of Newark. Let me tell you something. These and many more. Dr. Werner, medical doctor, first board member. But we could go on. Those
Wine and Garrett. On and on and
tiny,
on. Yes.
tiny. They're spending $2 million redoing the operating room, the emergency room at UMD&J. And if Tiny was there, we know they don't have 10% of minorities working on a $2 million project. Not 10%.
Tiny, ain't that something? Tiny left us about how many years ago?
It's been a while.
What's Tiny's, I can't think of his name now.
I can't think of it either.
But it was only one Tiny.
There was only one Tiny. But these were the men, and let's talk about some of the women.
Dr. Baxter.
Dr. Baxter, but let's talk about with boxing.
Carolyn Kelly.
Carolyn Kelly Shabazz, still living, a living legend. And I go by, I talk to her sometime. These are people, you know.
Free knowledge.
Kitty Taylor,
Oh,
Mother Winona Lipman. Oh God, let me see. Carolyn Wallace, IYO.
yes.
Come on, these
Tri-City. and all that.
Tri-City. Willie Simmons, as I said, Chief of Staff to first female senator and black senator, Winona Lipman, one of the prettiest women. She was my Lena Horne as a young man.
Sheila Oliver.
Sheila Oliver. Sheila and I go back to days of in the 70s of social work in the streets. People don't see, they see and know of great names, but y'all don't know where they come from. Y'all don't know what they did. And then the other thing is, I got to say this, they carried themselves as women. Because ladies, and I'm going to say this to you, your man is a reflection of you. Brothers, your lady is a reflection of you. I recently saw something that bothered me. They had pulled over, and this was yesterday. I was on Parkway, traffic had stopped. They pulled off. Young lady got out. She was almost naked. Brother got out, and it was hot yesterday. Had his hoodie up, felt her up while we sitting in traffic because they switching drivers. Felt her up, and she was throwing kisses. No self-respect and no respect for her. I was in the barber shop, maybe, and I go get my little beard tightened up, and
What hair you
taking
got
my
left?
hair, yeah. and the reality, young brother came in, tell a little joker they putting the sun up on the thing. You know how they do in the chair. Young lady there, and he started just grabbing her behind, rubbing all over. She saying, no, every man in the shop
Is a man.
is a man, and we looking. And then one of the older brother said, if that was my daughter, I'd knock her out and him out. Young brother. So I'm waiting to get my little shave. And I said, young brother, can I speak to you please outside? He's like, yeah, what? I said, you have a beautiful lady there. She's beautiful. I said, but she's your lady. You can tell that's your son. He looked just like you. He started grinning. I said, and all of us are men. I said, I'm probably the oldest one in here. Why are you feeling up on her? Isn't that for you and not a show for us? I said, you have a grandmother? What if I was going out with your grandmother? I bring her, she comes to the shop with me, and I start feeling up on your grandmother. And you know what he said? Old man, you got that off. At least I got him to think. He didn't want to fight. Wouldn't have been good for him anyhow. I tell him, it wouldn't have been good for him. But the reality.
Half an eye and half a finger?
Yes, sir. And so the reality is that nobody ever told him. She fine, she looking good, she half naked as it is, and now you're going to pull on it, you're going to rub all over, you're going to grab her cheeks?
Well, see, let me say this here in closing, that I respect all of my coaches and my teachers that took the time to be adults. So you can be an adult, you can be a coach, or be in a position of authority, but you want everybody to like you. No, it's called respect. You do what you're supposed to do because you are the adult, and you're supposed to be changing the young person's mind to understand that there.
It's also responsibility. Adults have the responsibility of being an adult. Again, my daddy, with a 6th grade education, a PhD in life, and I would see something, especially from an adult, and I said, Daddy, that ain't right, is it? And he said, son, some people grow old, but they don't never grow up.
On that note, there will be a part 2. And I hope that you're listening. I hope you comprehend. And I hope you're smiling and laughing at some of the gestures and things and the stories that are being told, and the concept for you to understand that nothing, as my daddy said, nothing, he was 104, nothing on the face of this earth is new. It might be new to you, and it might be new to me. But I'm coming of age now to understand that those that have come before us, cherish them because they have some wonderful lessons to help us to get past a lot of the speed bumps on this journey of life, which the Father above has for us. Regardless of your ideology, He is who He says He is. Uncle Jethro, I thank you for always coming and always inspiring and encouraging and teaching. And as I always end my segments, before we can love all people, we must first love ourselves. Thank you so much. This is Deadline, and I'm your host, Poochie Hill.